At number 10, Missy Elliot. Back in 2008, rapper Missy Elliot was diagnosed with a rare illness called Graves' disease. This medical condition is an autoimmune disease which causes the overactivity of the thyroid gland. This can cause a number of symptoms for whoever has this condition. Some symptoms can include muscle weakness, weight loss, eye disease, fatigue, tremors, and more. In an interview, Missy opened up about her struggles with the disease, where she said that her hand tremors were so bad that she couldn't even use a pen. On top of that, the rapper revealed that before her official diagnosis, she just knew that she had chronic fatigue. This became really dangerous for Missy when her extreme muscle fatigue flared up and made her nearly lose control of her vehicle while driving. Because of her diagnosis, Missy had to step away from the music scene for a while, but thanks to her treatments, which include radiation combined with other medications, she's been able to return to the stage and has continued making music. Although there is no cure for this disease, there are treatments that allow Missy to continue doing what she loves. At number 9, Venus Williams. In 2011, after winning the first round of Wimbledon, one of the biggest and most prestigious tennis competitions in the world, Venus Williams announced her retirement after being diagnosed with Sjogren's syndrome. This disease is an autoimmune condition that results in causing damage to other healthy parts of the body. Most commonly, this disease affects parts of the body which produce fluids like your tears and saliva, but is also known to affect the sufferer's joints and nerves in some cases as well. Though there is no cure for this condition, Venus was able to manage many of her symptoms associated with this disease by switching to a raw vegan diet. Venus isn't someone who lets their condition get the better of them, as she spoke out about the journey she's been on in regards to her health, where she said, quote, "Chronic health conditions can be demoralizing and limiting. However, you have to see the glass as half full and always focus on what you can accomplish, not what you can't." End quote. That's definitely a positive way of looking at things. Now before I carry on with the video, I would just like to take a quick moment to ask you guys to leave a like on this video if you're enjoying it so far, and maybe even consider subscribing to see more videos like this one. At number 8, Atticus Schaffer. Atticus Schaffer, known for his role as Brick Heck from the show The Middle, is yet another celebrity who suffers from a rare disease. Atticus has a condition called osteogenesis imperfecta, which is a rare genetic disease that prevents a person's body from producing strong, healthy bones. For those suffering from osteogenesis imperfecta, their bones are often so fragile that they can break hundreds of bones over the course of their life. Atticus opened up about his condition and how it affects his everyday life, saying, quote, "I just have to be cautious, but my message to people with or without a condition is the fact that you can still do anything you set your mind to. You just have to do it in a slightly different way than other people." End quote.
And at number 7, Kim Kardashian West. Kim first revealed her struggle with skin condition psoriasis on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. During that episode, Kris revealed that she also suffers from psoriasis, and that's most likely how Kim got it. Psoriasis is a skin condition that causes red, itchy, scaly patches, most commonly on the knees, elbows, butt, and scalp. Psoriasis is a common, long-term chronic disease, currently with no cure. Kim has been open about her struggle with the disease and the flare-ups that will occur, but she's been vigorously treating it, and she told People in 2017 about one light treatment that she was doing that was looking very promising at the time.
At number 6, Danny Devito. Danny Devito is an absolute legend. He's a household name and everybody loves him and his work. What's so great about Danny is that he doesn't let his rare medical condition get in the way of his career, and rather he embraces that side of him that makes him unique. Danny was born with a condition called multiple epiphyseal dysplasia, which is also known as Fairbanks disease. And this condition is an uncommon form of dwarfism that affects 1 in 10,000 to 1 in 20,000 people. Danny told sources that, quote, "Being short only felt like a disadvantage as a teenager," end quote. Other than that, it's helped him stand out and he's embraced his uniqueness, and that has helped him land parts that others would have been overlooked for. As was noted in one publication, quote, "Fairbanks disease might have prematurely stopped his vertical growth, but he blossomed in virtually every other way," end quote.
Halfway, number 5, Selena Gomez. Selena Gomez has been very vocal about her struggles with autoimmune disease, lupus. Lupus is an inflammatory disease that causes the immune system to attack its own healthy tissue. Her lupus got so bad in 2017 that she had to undergo a kidney transplant. She was given a kidney from her fellow actress and BFF Francia Raisa. When speaking about the transplant, Gomez said, quote, "Maybe I wasn't necessarily really good at knowing what that meant, so it actually got to a point where it was life or death. Thankfully, one of my best friends gave me her kidney, and it was the ultimate gift of life. I'm doing quite well now."
At number 4, Robin Roberts. There was a time where American broadcaster Robin Roberts suffered from a rare blood disorder called myelodysplastic syndrome. This condition affects 20,000 Americans a year. This syndrome is described as, quote, "a group of diverse bone marrow disorders in which the bone marrow does not produce enough healthy blood cells," end quote. In Robin's case, she developed this rare medical condition after recovering from breast cancer. In a statement she released upon her diagnosis with the illness, Robin said, quote, "Sometimes the treatment for cancer can cause serious medical problems. Today I want to let you know that I've been diagnosed with MDS. My doctors tell me that I'm going to beat this, and I know it's true." End quote. Luckily, Robin did end up beating it, and she has since recovered from the illness. And finally, at number 1, Frankie Muniz. Actor and former professional race car driver Frankie Muniz suffers from transient ischemic attacks, or TIAs for short. TIAs are known as mini strokes and are caused by a temporary blockage of blood flow to the brain. Frankie opened up about his condition on an episode of Dancing with the Stars, where he said that he experiences frequent memory loss and that he's actually unable to remember being on the show Malcolm in the Middle. Frankie has said that he believes that his TIAs may be caused by the several concussions that he's had over the course of his life, the first one being back when he was just 7 years old when he was a goalie on his soccer team. Since 2012, Frankie has had around 15 TIAs.
And at number 9, Nick Jonas. Former Disney star Nick Jonas was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes when he was only 13 years old, and he's one of the 1.25 million Americans that suffer from the illness. When he was younger, it was hard for him to manage his work and the struggles of the illness. However, after some time and help from his family, he found a schedule that worked for him. Jonas also spreads awareness about type 1 diabetes whenever he can. While accepting an award in 2017, he told the crowd, quote, "This is truly incredible. These kids who are up here all have type 1 diabetes like myself. This is a disease I was diagnosed with when I was 13. It was a moment in my life when I was just getting ready to start making music with my brothers and touring, and it was something that I thought would slow me down before I even got started." But thankfully for Nick, that wasn't the case. And at number 8, Emilia Clarke. Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke recently revealed that she suffered from multiple brain aneurysms while she was filming Game of Thrones, and she had to have multiple life-saving surgeries. Clarke revealed the details in a piece she wrote for The New Yorker. Apparently, after she was done filming season 1 of the show, she suffered a brain hemorrhage while at a London gym. She said she felt like an elastic band was squeezing her brain. She was rushed to the hospital where she underwent brain surgery, and she said she couldn't even remember her own name. However, weeks later she did return to filming, even though she had another growth on her brain that doctors were concerned about. She had multiple other bursts that forced her into more surgery, and now she suffers with permanent speech issues because of it.
At number 7, Lady Gaga. When Lady Gaga sang about how she was born this way and celebrated everyone's differences, she was also singing in part about how her rare disease also sets her apart from others. Lady Gaga is one person who suffers from a disease called synovitis. Synovitis is a condition that is often confused with fibromyalgia, as both conditions can cause symptoms like swollen joints, joint pain, fatigue, and sensitivity to pain. Though they are very similar, where synovitis is different is the fact that the pain only occurs when the sufferer's joints are in movement, whereas with fibromyalgia, the pain is constant. Apparently, there was a time where Lady Gaga couldn't walk because of the pain from her synovitis, and that was the reason why she had to cancel her tour in 2017. She was able to take that time to rest and recover in order to get back to performing, but I couldn't imagine the kind of pain that she must have been in at that time. At number 6, Kristin Chenoweth. No one likes a migraine. There are a lot of people out there who suffer from severe headaches, but for Kristin Chenoweth, her headaches are 10 times worse because of her Meniere's disease diagnosis. Meniere's disease is a disorder that affects the inner ear, which can cause severe dizziness, ear ringing, and a feeling of fullness or congestion in the ear. It has also been noted that some sufferers experience extreme vertigo with this condition. When Kristin was 25 years old, that's when she first realized something was wrong with her health. While she was performing on stage, Kristin said that all of a sudden, she started experiencing bright flashes of light, vice-like head pain, dizziness, nausea, and the loss of her peripheral vision. For her, these symptoms as well as sensitivity to light lasted for several days. Eventually, Kristin was diagnosed with chronic vestibular migraine as well as Meniere's disease. Kristin opened up about how she felt about the diagnosis, saying that she thought her career would be over after that, but luckily for her, with medication, she has been able to manage her symptoms and limit her triggers. At number 5, Gaten Matarazzo. Stranger Things actor Gaten Matarazzo has been very open about his rare genetic disorder ever since rising to fame. Gaten has cleidocranial dysplasia, which is a condition that affects the growth of teeth and bones. Cleidocranial dysplasia, or CCD for short, is caused by an issue with the RUNX2 gene, which is critical to the formation and growth of bones and cartilage in the body. What's kind of interesting in Gaten's case is that usually this condition is passed down through family genetics, but for the actor, his CCD was caused by spontaneous mutation. When speaking out about his condition, Gaten said, quote, "There's a 1 in a million chance of you having it. I have a very mild case so it doesn't affect me much," end quote. In Gaten's case, this disorder is incredibly rare for him. The actor has undergone many surgeries over his life in order to extract his teeth to expose the adult ones, and his most recent procedure took place in 2020, but as he remarked in an Instagram post, this last surgery could be the last one in regards to his CCD for the rest of his life. At number 4, Jimmy Kimmel. Have you ever felt so tired that you just could not keep your eyes open no matter how hard you tried? Well, imagine if you could never control that feeling and it happened at any time of the day. Well, that's what Jimmy Kimmel experiences because of his narcolepsy. Narcolepsy is a rare neurological disorder that affects the brain's ability to control sleep/wake cycles. Narcolepsy can often take a huge toll on the lives of those who suffer from the disorder, causing some to unwillingly fall asleep at the most inopportune moments, like while driving, eating, or even talking. When opening up about his struggle with narcolepsy, the late night host said, quote, "I did know that every afternoon between 3 and 6, I would get very tired for no reason. I would doze off in meetings, watching TV, even driving. You know how when you're regular tired, your whole body is tired? With narcolepsy, just the inside of your head is tired. It's like somebody's gently sitting on your brain." End quote. He also said that for a while he figured that he just wasn't getting enough sleep at night, but when he told his doctor that he was drinking, quote, "gallons of iced tea throughout the day to stay awake," his doctor knew it had to be something more serious, and this led to Jimmy's diagnosis.
And at number 2, Gabrielle Union. Endomeiosis occurs when the tissue that normally lines the uterus grows into the muscular wall of the uterus, and it can be hard to catch because the tissue still acts normally and sheds each cycle. This has caused Union to have extreme fertility issues, which she shared openly. Union discussed this on Dr. Oz, saying, quote, "Fertility is not an older women's issue. It's an issue, period." She's also admitted that she has had countless miscarriages. She said she's lost count, but claims it's about 8 or 9 miscarriages at this point. She discusses more about her fertility issue in her new book, We're Going to Need More Wine, and she discusses how she's trying IVF treatment to get pregnant. However, this didn't work and the couple went the surrogacy route and now have a beautiful daughter. And finally, number 1, Michael J. Fox. Michael J. Fox revealed that he was suffering with Parkinson's disease in 1998, years after discovering it at the age of 29 when he was diagnosed with young-onset Parkinson's. After he went public about his diagnosis, he started raising awareness for the disease. Parkinson's disease is a brain disorder that leads to shaking, stiffness, and difficulty with walking, balance, and coordination. Parkinson's symptoms usually begin gradually and get worse over time. He even decided to start a foundation to find a cure. His Michael J. Fox Foundation has funded more than $800 million in medical research to date. His condition is gradually getting worse, but he's hopeful for the future.
At number 10, Billie Eilish. Billie Eilish is known for her creativity, but it turns out that much of her creativity has to do with her super cool, rare medical condition called synesthesia. Synesthesia is a rare medical condition that causes people to, quote, "hear colors, feel sounds, and taste shapes," end quote. In an interview from August earlier this year, Billie told Jimmy Fallon about her condition and revealed that it's actually something that runs in her family. She told Jimmy, quote, "I don't know why it exists, but my brother has it, I have it, my dad has it. It's a thing in your brain where you associate random stuff to everything. So for instance, every day of the week has a color, a number, a shape," end quote. Billie also went on to say that her synesthesia is what inspires a lot of her creative work, like her music videos and such. A fun fact to add to this as well, during this interview, Billie told Jimmy that with her synesthesia, she perceived the late night host as a vertical brown rectangle. So yeah, fun.
And at number 9, Emilia Clarke. Game of Thrones star Emilia Clarke recently revealed that she suffered from multiple brain aneurysms while she was filming Game of Thrones, and underwent multiple life-saving surgeries on breaks from filming. Clarke revealed the details in a piece she wrote for The New Yorker. Apparently, after she was done filming season 1 of the show, she suffered a brain hemorrhage while at a London gym, and she said it felt like an elastic band was squeezing her brain. She had surgery to fix this, but said afterwards that she couldn't remember her own name. Over the years, she's had multiple other bursts that forced her into more surgery, and now she suffers with permanent speech issues because of her aneurysms.
At number 8, Katie Leclerc. Actress Katie Leclerc, best known for her role on the ABC family show Switched at Birth, has been pretty open about the rare medical condition that she suffers from called Meniere's disease. Meniere's disease is a condition that affects the sufferer's inner ear and can lead to dizzy spells like vertigo and even hearing loss. This condition affects 0.2% of the US population, so it's pretty uncommon. When describing life with this condition, Katie has said, quote, "My ears are probably full 60% of the time, where you feel like you have to pop them. There's a lot of pressure. Probably 60% of the time time I get a severe head rush, like when you stand up too quickly." End quote. Even though this condition can cause some relatively severe complications, Katie has said that she tries to live life with a positive outlook, saying, quote, "I try to approach everything with positivity. You live in the moment day to day. My sister also has the disease and it hasn't stopped her, and she's an inspiration to me." End quote.
And at number 7, Claire Foy. Actress Claire Foy has been open about the invisible illness she suffers from, anxiety. When speaking about her experience, she said, quote, "It's purely about that feeling in the pit of your stomach and the feeling that you can't because you're this or you're that. It's my mind working 1,000 beats a second and running away with a thought." Foy revealed it all started when her parents got a divorce at the age of 8. She tried to people please so nobody would fight, but that led her to overthink and turn into anxiety. She got help from a therapist and says, quote, "Now I'm able to dissociate myself from it more. I know that it's just something I have, and that I can take care of myself." And at number 6, Bella Hadid. Bella Hadid suffers from the same illness her mother Yolanda Hadid has, Lyme disease. After Bella was diagnosed, she claimed she felt hopeless, but she's learned to adapt her routines to her new limitations. Bella told The Guardian in 2016, quote, "It starts with brain fog. For a while I couldn't put sentences together. I'm really tired a lot. A few weeks ago I had a big campaign shoot that I had to reschedule. It's hard, but I pushed through, because at the end of the day, if you're not working, somebody else is." When she was diagnosed in 2012, she thought she was going to be riding horses for the rest of her life, but the disease stopped those plans in its tracks. However, Bella says everything happens for a reason, and she's happy with how things turned out. Halfway at number 5, Selma Blair. Selma Blair revealed that she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis, or MS, on Instagram in October of 2018. MS is a condition that can affect the brain and spinal cord, causing problems with vision, arm or leg movement, sensation, or balance. When discussing her diagnosis, Blair said she knew that something was wrong and she'd felt off for years. However, she just thought it was something minor, like a pinched nerve. As the disease has progressed, Blair now walks with a cane and continues to be open about her condition on social media. And at number 4, Sarah Hyland. Sarah Hyland was diagnosed with kidney dysplasia as a baby and has gone through many surgeries throughout her life to try and fix the abnormalities in her kidneys. At the age of 28, Hyland estimated that she had about 16 surgeries in her life at that point, adding that 16 of them took place within the last 16 months. In her life, she's had 2 kidney transplants. One kidney was given to her by her father in 2012, however that transplant failed and her body rejected the new organ. She spoke about the experience with Self, saying, quote, "I was very depressed. When a family member gives you a second chance at life and it fails, it almost feels like it's your fault. It's not, but it does." She has also needed the help of dialysis at times, and in 2017 she chose a dialysis location close to the Modern Family set so she could more easily balance her work and her illness. And at number 3, Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union struggled with endomyosis while trying to conceive a child. Endomyosis occurs when the tissue that normally lines the uterus grows into the muscular wall, and it can be hard to catch because the tissue still acts normally and sheds on each cycle. This has caused Union to have extreme fertility issues, which she shared openly. Union discussed this on the Dr. Oz show, saying, quote, "Fertility is not an older women's issue. It's an issue, period." She also admitted that she had countless miscarriages and she's lost count but claimed it's about 8 or 9. She tried IVF to conceive, but after that didn't work, she ended up using a surrogate.
At number 2, Ed Catmull. Ed Catmull, the co-founder of Pixar and the former president of Disney, suffers from a rare condition called aphantasia. Aphantasia is a condition that, quote, "describes when people can't conjure visualizations in their mind's eye," end quote. So essentially, when you try and picture something like a red ball in your head, people who have aphantasia don't picture anything. Ed said that he first realized that he had this condition when he was trying to perform Tibetan meditation with one of his colleagues, and he was told to visualize a sphere in front of him. When he couldn't visualize anything, that's when he realized that something was off, and he was subsequently diagnosed with aphantasia. Though he might not be able to visualize things in his mind, he is able to bring graphics to life digitally as he revolutionized 3D graphics and animation through Pixar, so sometimes when you have weaknesses, you find strengths in other places.
And finally, number 1, Cher. Cher has been open about her diagnosis of Epstein-Barr virus, which the singer contracted in the early 90s. The virus is a member of the herpes family and can physically affect people for weeks, although it stays in a person's system for life. It was alleged that she had to take 3 years off from work because she was struggling with the illness, along with going to Germany for specialized treatment. It was even reported that she was close to death at some points, but these claims were never confirmed by Cher herself. As of now, there is no cure for the illness, but Cher manages it through various treatments.